Hello, this is Kevin Benedict, SMAC Analyst, and SMAC stands for Social, Mobile, Analytics, and Cloud. And I'm reporting live here at SAPPHIRE 2013, and I have the privilege of spending time with Mark Crofton from SAP. Now, Mark, you're responsible, if I understand it right, for mobility services in Latin America.
Mobility. I'm responsible for the mobility business in Latin America.
That's
correct.
awesome.
Yep.
So, tell me what's going on in Latin America.
Well, first of all, a lot, right? We have growth rates in mobility, I think, that will rival any region in the world. One of the things I think is really interesting about our region is that you have mobile penetration rates in most countries well above 100%, 110, 115%.
That means the number of people with mobile phones?
It means the number of mobile phones outnumbers the number of people.
Wow.
So I think in Brazil it's something around 115%. So for every 100 people, there's 115 mobile phones. Which is interesting, and a lot of people have leapfrogged. They don't have a PC. The mobile phone is their primary way of accessing internet, primary way of accessing the world, frankly. It's not their secondary device, it's their only device. At the same time, you have some interesting things like the banked rate. What percentage of the population has a bank account? It could be anywhere from 50 to 60 to 70% of the population has a bank account. So you have large populations that have mobile phones who do not have bank accounts. So we're working with customers around really interesting things that frankly don't exist in maybe North America and Western Europe, but ideas of banking the unbanked. If I live 100 kilometers outside of Sao Paulo, 100 kilometers outside of Mexico City, and there's no branch, how do I get access to the financial services system? So it's good for our customers who want to expand, who are banks and want to expand the number of customers they have. And frankly, it's good for the country and good for the population. If we can get these people access to the financial services system, they're doing financial transactions. They're just paying higher amounts for it. Shipping, sending money, taking out loans. And so we find a big opportunity there.
So what components of your kind of SAP mobility platform are involved in those kinds of solutions?
Right. So it is the mobility platform, the SAP mobile platform, as you mentioned. And one of the components of that is the B2C, or the business to consumer, specifically mobile banking. So we've had some early success in Latin America with our mobile banking products. So anything from being able to open an account with a mobile device. And the example here is Standard Bank in South Africa. If you've seen the video, we're opening about 7,000 accounts a week. We're working to do the same thing in Latin America, be able to open an account, but also be able to have a stored value account, like a card. Instead of having a card, you store that value. So I go every week. I live 100 miles outside of Bogota. I go every week to put more minutes on my phone. Well, what if I could just also add value to my phone? Money to my account, to a stored value account. What if I could use that same phone to send money? I live in the city, but my parents live back in my native village. What if I could use that phone to send money back to them? And it doesn't have, by the way, if we're talking about 115% mobile penetration rate, the smartphone rate's much lower than that. So the ability to do that with an app for a smartphone, but also via SMS is very important.
So that involves, what was it used to be called, Mobile 360?
Yeah, there's a couple different names out there. It was Sybase 365.
Oh, 365, there
was
you go.
Was the entity, part of the platform was Mobilizer, and now that's all being incorporated as a component of the SAP mobile platform. So you can have the B2C components, which is mobile banking, mobile payments, mobile wallet, in the same platform where you would have an internal use. So if I'm the bank, I can use the same platform for mobile banking as I maybe use a credit origination application for my employee to be able to do credit origination. All that over the same platform, right, which is the SAP mobile platform.
Well, that is in a very exciting area that can have economic impact
Absolutely.
On vast numbers of people. I also have understood it can have cultural impact on some of these areas that struggle with a lot of corruption within their payment systems, and even employees being paid, and governments paying their employees. There's a lot of hands in the paycheck.
Right.
And going directly to somebody's phone avoids a lot of that.
Well, imagine if you can take the cash out of the equation, right? You have a lot of benefits. One, you can pay someone faster, right? And so I want to get my money now, and I can use it now. There's security issues. If I don't have to literally truck cash out 100 kilometers, 200 kilometers, security issues. And sure, you take out any risk of corruption or things like that, or most of it, of that, and you can do it. You can credit it electronically. It's a transaction on the server, right? So I think there's huge benefits. I think it's exciting because we can really, change the way people live. Really, I mean, these are people. A lot of people who are quote unquote unbanked
right.
are doing financial transactions. They're just paying more for them than you or I would. because we can go in and do a transfer, we can do a payment or something. They charge us minimal amounts, but if you don't, you have to do it in an informal system. You're a higher transaction cost.
So, Mark, here's a question I have: how do you actually convert a payment on a phone? So you have a text message that says we just put $200 in your account.
Right.
How do you convert that to cash? What's the process look like?
Generally, and there's a couple different ways to do it. Well, a way we're seeing done in a lot of our customers is through agents. So a bank or a telecommunications company would have an agent. So think about it, what we call a kiosk or a corner store. In New York, they call it a bodega. And so I go there anyway. It's the one in my town. I go there anyway, and I buy maybe my household goods. But that's also where I go and I buy my minutes for my phone. So I'm already going there. So this is just going to the same guy who I give him, 10 pesos, 100 pesos, whatever the currency is, and he gives me minutes. And this time I can go and I can show him the one-time code that I get, and I can, withdraw money, or I can give him money.
So he would reach into his cash register.
He becomes an agent of the bank,
and he gets a commission for doing that.
Sure.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah, and these small stores have different names in each Latin American country, but they're pretty prevalent, and they become agents of the bank.
That is very interesting.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, it's exciting. That's, I think, what makes mobile in Latin America so exciting.
Got it. Mark, I want to thank you so much for sharing your experience and knowledge with all of us.
Okay, you're welcome.